Hello there. I am Anna Crichton and I'm a psychologist. I invite you to my office. We are in Churros Head, New South Wales, Australia. It's Friday. It's about 7 a.m. Friday, the 5th of February. I'm missing my Zoe here. Zoe is my little offsider, my little dog, who is helping me in my work. I am sitting here waiting for people to ask questions about things that interest them. This is my very first video. I'll make it short if there are no people asking interesting questions. And until such time that I hear some questions here, I'm going to talk to you about the challenges of working from home. Honestly, there are not that many. And the day I decided to let go of very well-paid work and give it a go by myself, working from home, that was the best decision I've ever made. And there have been ups and downs, admittedly, but I'll never regret taking that decision. So I would like to know from you, especially you people who provide services, what your biggest challenges are. You see, I believe that there's a difference between providing a service from home, such as counseling, all sorts of consultations in any area that you are trained to provide services, and selling a product. And the main difference, the way I see it, is in actually being paid. You see, it's so much harder to track your payments due from your clients when you actually provide the service, especially if the referrals come from various insurers or from lawyers. For example, in my profession as a clinical psychologist, I have been getting quite a few referrals from insurers and from lawyers of clients who have been involved in accidents, for example, or who have work-related stresses. And very often these people, my clients, are in distress. So you don't want to wait too long, well, I didn't, to provide the service. I wanted to see them, to fit them in as soon as I could, just to start helping them immediately. And only then, after a few sessions, really work out who's going to pay me. Funnily enough, I should have actually started off with the arrangements to be paid, because quite often, well, I'm not sure if that often, but often enough, people actually owed me money after they started feeling better and left counseling. They conveniently forgot about their responsibility for payment. And at the beginning, and my beginning was about 25 years ago, the beginning of working for myself from home. At the beginning, I didn't have anything in writing. My full focus was on providing service, on helping people to come out of their crisis, and then think about how am I going to be paid and who is going to pay me. And it was silly not having any written contract. And at various times, people owed me big sums of money. I estimated that at various times it was up to $50,000 Australian dollars, which is quite a large sum. And then I would have to chase up my money. And in some cases, I was never paid. Now, it wasn't a huge tragedy. And now I'm thinking, why? Why wasn't it such a big deal for me not being paid? I did the work. I was pretty good, I think. People said I was very good and I helped them. Why didn't I really chase after my money in a resolute manner? Perhaps deep inside in my subconscious mind, I believed that having a job I loved in an environment that I loved, that is working from home, I was so fortunate I didn't need to be paid. Well, I needed to be paid something, but that did not need to chase after every dollar because the universe was very kind by providing for me, providing for all my needs. That doesn't sound a very rational way of thinking, but beliefs, core beliefs, deeply ingrained in your brain are not rational. Those core beliefs are not rational. Considering those beliefs, I have made good. I have provided for my family, and I have a wonderful working environment too, in fact. But I won't brag about it today. Today, I just wanted to raise the issue of the challenges of working from home. And I believe there are three challenges. I just made a note of this for myself just before I started this hangout. So what were my biggest challenges when I started about 25 years ago? As I mentioned, having left a very well-paid government job, what were the biggest challenges? The biggest challenge for me at that time was knocking on doors, asking for referrals, visiting various doctor surgeries, writing to lawyers, visiting people. I noticed that by visiting people, humiliating as it was many, many times, it actually brought results. And it was a huge growing experience, growing for me, visiting doctors who at that time did not think much of psychologists, who did not feel they needed psychologists. There was a stigma, they felt, even the doctors felt that there was a stigma attached to people who provided psychological services, and that clients, customers would not want to come and see a psychologist. So having to knock on those doors, seeing those doctors very briefly in between their very busy schedule, between their customers, it was sort of touch and go or hit and run kind of contact. And I would sit there for a few hours, briefly seeing a very busy doctor in a practice of several doctors who would not even have a decency to sit down at the table and talk with me and ask what sort of services I provided, but who would in a hurry make himself a cup of coffee. And so I would be talking to the back of his head. And that was a bit of a challenge for me. It was an ego thing, having to swallow what I felt the humiliation, feeling that I needed to be selling myself, yet having to do that because I decided very firmly to let go of salaried employment and to create employment for myself from home. At that time, my little girls were about 10, 12 years old, maybe even less. And so I wanted to provide for my family, and I also wanted to work from home. So in between my not so busy schedule, not so busy appointments, I could run upstairs to the main house, from my basement that was converted into a very lovely office, not this office, another office. So I would run upstairs, put in a load in my washing machine, run back down, prepare for the next session, go back again, hang the laundry, make some snacks for the kids before they came back from school, and come back down and continue business in a professional manner. So the first challenge was asking for work. And this is a very big challenge for some people, especially if they have no leverage. And what I mean by that is if they don't have an absolute need to earn money. And that will apply especially to all you young people who work from home, from parental home, and you don't have expenses. And there will be lots and lots of you who actually are still at home. Not that there's anything wrong with that, but you don't have the absolute need and motivation to raise money, to pay mortgage, to pay the bills. And you will find it a lot harder to ask for work. And you will probably allow the ego, the pride, and maybe even shyness to stand between you and your success in your own business. And if that's the case, I can help you. I can help you overcome your anxiety. And I would like to hear from you, because I know it was a challenge for me, but I had to go out and ask for work. I absolutely had to. My second challenge, and I've discovered that other people who decide to work from home face it too, is managing their time. Because working from home, especially for people who have families, working from home puts you in a situation of many, many distractions. Like I say, especially if there is a family and you have to attend to them, and they are always a number one priority. And there are chores to be done. And not only chores, there are other fabulous distractions. And these days, there is constant checking of emails, of social networks, and so on, so forth, so on. How do you manage your time? Once again, I believe I can help you with this for free. I would like to have discussions with you. I would like to see what sort of challenges you are facing. At this stage, I'm just describing my own challenges. So the first one was asking for work. And I should add here a huge challenge as well, which I have not jotted down. How do you get paid? How do you ask to be paid? What sort of precautions do you take? What structures do you put in place in order to make sure that you are going to get paid for your expertise, for your time? You are selling your talent and your time, and you have a full right to be paid for it. Another challenge, and let me check this now, was, yes, that was actually collecting your money. That was my challenge number 3. Okay, I will end it this, and if I'll make this available for a replay, I would like to know what sort of challenges you are facing in this year 2016. Anna Crichton here. Talk soon.